Good afternoon, everybody. Just seems like we were very recently here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. I'm Christian Taylor here with you on Hoya Vision. It's Georgetown. It's Creighton. Big East softball right here at you in beautiful Washington, D.C. And this should be pretty fun, shouldn't it? Just looking overall at these two teams, Creighton sitting last in the Big East at the moment with a 3-9 record. Honestly, at least in my personal opinion, not very indicative of how good this team is. We've seen the power, we've seen the experience of some of these players, and they're looking to do so under first-year head coach Krista Wood, trying to turn some things in the right direction. Georgetown, though, 5-7 in conference play, and overall of a record worse than Creighton. You know, Creighton overall this season sitting at a 17-22 record, and Georgetown, well, on their end, obviously they're coming off of just this masterfully pitched game by Brooke Plonka against Coppin State during the midweek. Their overall record is 11-24. And they're coming off of a 2-win series against the Providence Friars. And so for Creighton, who they themselves are coming in after a win against Omaha, they are also coming in 2 wins out of 3 against DePaul. And off we go. Julia Parker in the circle for the Hoyas. She's wearing number 11. Georgetown are in the white home uniforms with the navy pants today and the white socks trimmed in gold and, or beg your pardon, silver and navy. And very quickly we see a 1-1 count here from Julia Parker, who needs a big day. You know, Brooke Plonka needed to see a big day on Tuesday when she started, and she got that and then some. Well, Julia Parker needs one too. You know, that last outing of hers against Providence back on Thursday, April 6th, you know, she was dealing so well at the start, and then it was a 9-run inning. So first one is flied into left field, and Cam Kondo is able to retire. Kayla Nielsen for the first out. You know, it didn't look 100% pretty, but she got the job done, just as Cameron Kondo has been able to do. So Kayla Nielsen is retired. And so that steps in Lily West. Lily West is a freshman from Oklahoma and swings at the first pitch. Oh, has she been just exciting to watch. And, of course, we'll go about her as this game continues. But comes out of Choctaw, Oklahoma. Choctaw High School. It's highly touted coming in out of high school in the end. And has already started turning some heads this season, as has, you know, a lot of these young freshmen for Creighton. There's a new program being built here by Coach Wood, as that one is out of play as it thuds off the sidewalk there. 1 ball and 2 strikes very early here. Kaylee Wilson, those of you who are familiar with softball in this conference, you know that Kaylee Wilson name. There's a grounder over to third, and that's Lorena Vasquez Nzunza was able to record the second out of the first inning. Kaylee Wilson, will be going on and on about her today, and really this entire series. 2022 Big East Player of the Year. 2-time unanimous All-Big East first-team selection. Yeah. You guys have heard it before, and it's because she is one of the best hitters, not only in this conference, but in the nation, and you're going to see it potentially again today, although her numbers this season a tad lower than what they have been in the past, even though they are still very good. She's batting at .287, which on some teams that's basically good for first place, but there's a lot of powerful batters in this Blue Jays offense. And it's just still kind of puzzling how this team only has a few conference wins this season, and they're actually coming in off of their best series there against DePaul. 2 of their 3 conference wins are against them, as that one is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike is now turned to 2 balls and 1 strike. And it's happened like so. The Villanova series, a little unlucky in their first couple of games there in PA. Lost 4-3, lost 8-7 in their first couple of games. That one is outside for 3-1. And it was the final game, a 10-4 win for Villanova. And in the Seton Hall series, the first 2 games weren't ideal. 7-2 losses, 8-2 loss, but then lost 6-5 in that third game. This one swung on second base, and it's just out of the reach of Casey Lyman. And it's a single for Kaylee Wilson, something she is known for doing. Alyssa Gappa is the third baseman. And she is here at the plate batting with 2 outs. Runner at first is Wilson. There's another one, literally same exact spot, and out of the reach of Lyman. And so it is back-to-back singles, literally in back-to-back pitches for Creighton. Madeline Vejvoda, the junior from La Vista, Nebraska. She's in. Had a few years of experience under her belt and is looking to hit home at least 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 if she plays her cards right. And here it comes. Fly ball left side. It's carrying foul, and out it goes. Well, the rest of it looks like so. It's been recent Big East success because, Creighton, they had not won any of the early games. You get swept by Villanova, you get swept by Seton Hall, and then you lose your first 2 games to Butler. Handy margins, 10-2, 10-zip. And then they got a mercy rule on Butler the day after. That's April 2nd. 9-1 in 5 innings, and then they went on to win 3 straight Big East games before losing their most recent 6-4 there to DePaul. So things are turning up, I think, in Big East play. Now, it doesn't really help the cause that they were playing teams above them. I mean, all 3 of them, we're talking about teams who are looking to yet again punch their ticket to the postseason. Seton Hall, Butler, and Villanova are at the 2, 3, 4 spots. They haven't played UConn yet. UConn's at the number 1. There's a strike. So Julia Parker trying to get out of this jam with Madeline Vejvoda at the plate. Here it comes, and ripped right at the cage of that Creighton dugout. 5th batter here of this inning, Madeline Vejvoda, the second baseman. Julia Parker knows she's 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Deuces are wild in the first. Parker winds up, delivers. A tad inside. The count is full. It is Saren Croker who is on deck. Here it comes. Fly ball, left center, ranging over. Turner, she can't reach to it. Scoring is Wilson. Gap around third. She scores 2. It's an RBI double for Vejvoda. And after getting the first 2 outs of this inning, Julia Parker is now allowed 2 here.
Designated player number 16, Saren Croker.
It is a cool name, isn't it? Saren Croker. You don't hear that first or last name much, do you? And has served the senior well. Cottage Grove, Minnesota. Playing role as DP today. Can play catcher. And now is in a nice scenario where there is a runner on second and 2 down. but they could have gotten out of this inning without any runs allowed. And so it's up to Julia Parker to see how she wants to respond. And actually a tad unlucky. It seemed like Turner and Kondo both getting awfully close to that fly ball. It was just so perfectly placed by Vejvoda. The 0-1 bounces away just for a brief moment. But it is a good recovery behind the plate by May Forshee. One ball, one strike. 3 hits here, and it's 3 consecutive for this Creighton offense. Grounder at short. Good look here by Zamora. Guns one to first and just gets her. Well, they do get out of the inning. 1 runner left on base, but 2 runs cross for the Blue Jays as they lead 2-zip heading to the home half. Now it's chance for Georgetown to take their rebuttals here against the Creighton Blue Jays, who got off to a really nice start. That 2-run RBI double by Madeline Vejvoda. And there were 2 outs in that inning as the first pitch comes across for ball 1. And you notice Cam Kondo, every time she's there, she takes these violent steps out of that batter's box and right back in. Always has to reassess her plate approach as she fouls one away. She was one of the heroes of that perfect game by Brooke Plonka on Tuesday. Obviously, you have to look at what Brooke Plonka was able to do. I mean, they don't win that game if she doesn't do what she does, but Georgetown needed a run in there, and Cameron Kondo was the one who delivered it. This one is skied up into right field, shallow right field, but it is the second baseman in Vejvoda, who we've been talking about a lot already, to squeeze the glove on the first out. Here's Morgan Zamora, shortstop, wearing number 18. Been playing a very solid 2 role in this batting lineup. 0-1 the count. Zamora, the grad student from San Bernardino, California. Puccino's next delivery is outside. Puccino, just as a young freshman here for this Creighton team, doing some good things. 26th appearance is what leads the team. Swing and a miss. 23rd game started, which is by far most of anybody. Alexis Wiggins has the next closest amount of starts at 13. Well, we're talking about 8 complete games here. Couple of shutouts and well over 100 innings pitched. And there's a strikeout to Zamora. And so, 2 away for May Forshee. Now remember, this is how Creighton started their damage. Remember, they had 2 outs, and then they were able to break in for 2. And there's the first strike to Forshee, who you feel is due for a big game. Batting here at this 3 spot, which is usually reserved for a team's best hitter, and arguably she is. But just needs one of those days where she wants to explode there at the plate. But has to try and manufacture something herself with 2 outs in this inning. Puccino is set. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung right through. Strike 2 against May Forshee. And just as Parker was 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Let's see if she can find it her way. See how patiently Puccino waits. She wants to go quickly, doesn't she, as that elevates a little bit. 2-0 here for Creighton. Top of the first, 2-2 count to May Forshee. The third batter in this Georgetown lineup. Here it comes. Swung on, popped up, right side. It is Vejvoda. Yet again, right on it. Oh, look out. So there was a collision of Forshee and Wilson right as Forshee was rounding first, but it looks like they're both okay. Both apologize to each other, and that's it. That closes off the first inning. We'll pop on up to the second. 2-0 Creighton. It goes 7-8-9 for Creighton. In this second inning, Emma Rozanki, the first batter for the visitors from Omaha, Nebraska, and immediately targets Lyman over at second, and she passes yet another test. 4-3 putouts.
Shortstop, number 22, Frame.
Ensley Frame. So 1 pitch, 1 out there to start off this second inning. She is the 8th batter. Sidra Seville is the 9th batter for Creighton. And they have gone all the way through. First delivery from Parker rises up a little bit for the first ball. We'll run through the defense here for Georgetown. Behind the plate, May Forshee. Of course, in the circle is Julia Parker. First base is Naya Campos. Second base, Brittany Liu. Shortstop, Morgan Zamora. Third base, Lorena Vasquez Inzunza. Here it comes. Just cuts inside on Ensley Frame. 2-0. Left field to right field. Cam Kondo, Claire Turner, and Brittany Liu. With the DP, of course, being the great Kayla Dunn. The 2-0 comes straight through, and it's a big whiff by Ensley Frame, the shortstop today. Ensley Frame, another freshman, Gretna, Nebraska. Started and played in 33 this season and gets a piece of that one, but for strike 2, right back into the glove of May Forshee. It was her emergence here to Creighton as this one carries away. her emergence here to Creighton that moved Madeline Vejvoda from where she had gained that shortstop position from second base and then pushed her back to second base. It's because Frame just has so much experience there at shortstop that she's able to carry away with that position. And there's a walk from Julia Parker. Oh, something that she will need to be careful with. Those walks of hers have not been completely ideal this year. There have been a few games this season where those walks just continue to mount and mount. I mean, Providence could probably serve as an example. There's a bunt laid down, and it stays in the right-handed batter's box, so does not enter play. And so after all of that, it's just one simple strike. Julia Parker has 53, now 54 walks given up this year. The next closest is Brooke Plonka with 33. That's 20 less walks from inside that circle. And just the fascinating thing about Julia Parker, too, is, I mean, she has just about as much talent as anybody else in this conference, as that one is outside as well. We've seen it at numerous occasions. And there's a reason why she is still starring and thriving here at Georgetown. But there are once in a while just a couple of outings where they don't quite go her way. But I think something that is just so prominent about her is her ability to bounce back if needed. The bunt is laid down. Parker gets to it first. Can she gun her down in time? Oh, she can. Just got Seville a quarter of a step. But the sacrifice bunt is successful. Kayla Nielsen back to the top of the order. Julia Parker, her team leading 27th appearance here today. 15th start, which puts herself tied with Brooke Plonka. 3 complete games. 83 innings pitched. 62 strikeouts this season. An opposing batting average is under 300, so you see there are bright spots to that line as this one grounded right at Zamora and doesn't waste any time to throw that one across the diamond and to close off the second inning. So Julia Parker allows the one walk and off she goes, retires everybody else. Home half of the second we go, 2-0 Creighton. The Eurythmics serving as the walk-up artists for Kayla Dunn, the DP today for the Georgetown Hoyas. Just a fascinating Big East matchup here on our hands today. As the first pitch is in for a strike. And again, this DP role for Kayla Dunn seems to suit her pretty well. takes away the stresses of defending, as that one's plopped foul. Even though she can play a mean first base. We've seen it on display plenty of times. But a DP position to then where if a pitcher is struggling, whether it be Parker or Plonka, who are the other two pitchers this season, as that one's outside for ball one. So to Avery Wismar, who has 4 appearances this season. It gives her the chance to warm up. And she's kind of played the role of that third pitcher, the cleanup pitcher, if you will. As that one carries away. You see the frustration from Puccino there as it exited her glove. But it just allows her to focus, A, batting, which she thrives in, but then getting those tosses, either to stay loose or be that next player in. That one, not too far away, but levels up the count at 2 apiece. Kayla Dunn seeing the ball well on these last few pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It now increases to delivery sent home, and another foul ball. Kayla Dunn at a .264 average this season, has seen action in all games. Didn't get a hit against Coppin State, just went to a simple 0 for 1. But before that, was on a nice 3-game hit streak. Skied foul. No need to chase that from any of the Creighton infielders or outfielders. And this has turned into a pretty impressive and pretty long at-bat. Kayla Dunn just very patiently waiting this next one. Here it comes. Oh, ball 4. Oh, no! They called her out. Called strike 3. She started the walk to first. Delayed strike 3 call, but a strike 3 call nevertheless. And so Puccino happy to see that one go. Lorena Vasquez Nzunza, LVI. Playing over there at third base. A position that has really begun to suit her well. And for the first ever time, we'll see Natalia Puccino, 3-time All-Conference and 2-time Pitcher of the Year performance at Severance High School there in Colorado. That senior season of hers, very impressive. 14-9 overall record, but it was with an ERA of 1.29 and a state-leading 300 strikeouts, which also ranked 3rd best in the country. And something that you're going to see, folks, amongst the young stars, the young freshmen on this Creighton team is not only were they good in high school, but they were shockingly good in high school. And obviously you have to be good at the high school sport, as this one gets fouled away again. You have to be good at high school to get recruited to play D1 softball. It's just simple. It's the same thing with every sport, right? How do you grab the attention? You play well there. You play well at your camps, everything. But, we're used to seeing, the regular stats, all conference selection, everything like that. But we're talking now with some of these Creighton freshmen, and Natalia Puccino included, high school record good and, state records good. And we're talking about some of the most highly recruited players in the nation. As there's a swing and a miss for strike 3 for Lorena Vasquez Nzunza. So that's 3 strikeouts for Natalia Puccino today. So we mentioned 300 strikeouts there in that season. She brings it with her here to Creighton. Brittany Liu, the right fielder. Strikeout total on the team is by far the best. Puccino here on this Creighton side. She's got 86 now this season. Their next best is 59 from Peyton Akers. Count increases in Brittany Liu's favor. The right fielder today, senior from Potomac, Maryland, by way of Winston Churchill High School. 2-0 count. Cut in on the hands. 3-0. Georgetown looking for their first base runner of the day. And thus starts the Georgetown bench. Getting a little bit louder just to try and get into Puccino's head. And they aren't quite able to do so. She delivers an important strike there. It's headed towards the gut of Brittany Liu. Their team still trailing 2-0 bottom of the second inning. Here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy in Washington, D.C. Right through that next pitch. Now pushes it full. Puccino looking for yet another 1-2-3 inning here in this Creighton circle. Delivery sent home. There's some contact. Left field, though. Nielsen ranges towards it. And that closes off the second inning for both sides. Third inning, due up. 2-0 Creighton still. Lily West, freshman, Oklahoma. Back up here. Now in the third inning, has to turn away from that ball one. We mentioned in the last half inning of the extraordinary high school prowess by a lot of these young Blue Jays freshmen. Lily West is one of those, as there's a big hack. 86th in the class of 2022 by extra inning softball, which is impressive. The 1-1. Oh, just misses again. Tad outside there. 2 balls, 1 strike. They're at Choctaw High School. 4 straight Big 8 conference championships. 3 straight Class 6A state tournament appearances. Ripped left side. Kondo just in front of her. Falls. Base hit for Lily West to start off the third inning. She leads the team in hits, by the way, and continues to do so. 44 hits. Started every game. Just doesn't miss. There's something about a freshman coming in and refusing to remove themselves from the lineup. And the coach has faith in you day one, and then you continue to play to what your expectations are. Kaylee Wilson singled, scored a run in the first. She kept the inning alive. Not the player you want up really at any time. I mean, she is just as dangerous with the bases loaded as she is solo because of what she's able to create and what she can complete. Kaylee Wilson, by the way, just recorded her 150th hit of her career there in that DePaul game on the 7th of April. Did so with a home run. And it just turns to this nonchalant type movement from her because she is the grad student. She's been here with this program forever. and it just comes natural to her now. And it wasn't always that case. You know, freshman year was still pretty good, but knew she wanted to get better. Didn't want to see any sort of sophomore slump. So it was that summer between the summer of 20 and 2021, so peak COVID time, where she bought her own tee, bought her own net, and just went out to the local park and kept swinging and just wanted to get there. Chopper at first. Campos decides to throw to second, and Zamora's there to cover. 3-6 fielder's choice. And one away here in the third. But Wilson, she mentioned that, you know, coming then into that next season, she saw it. She felt the more confidence. She readjusted her plate approach, and it was just all smooth sailing from there. Averages always ranging in the 300s or higher. So the batter here is Alyssa Gappa, the third baseman. And Julia Parker dealing with an 0-1 count. Hold up. Play halted. It looks like, I think that came from the Georgetown bullpen there. I think so. That might have been Dunn who accidentally lost control of it there. She's the one warming up right now. Time called here from head coach Krista Wood. She's going to talk with the home plate umpire. And I think it might just be to confirm what happened there on that last moment. Had to have been. And just to confirm the count at it being 0-1. Swing and a miss. Some big swings coming from this Blue Jays offense. And it's 0-2 to Alyssa Gappa, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska. Didn't have to go far, did she? Third straight year being this team's third baseman. Just a position that can suit you well. And honestly, you know, you call it the hot corner. I feel like in softball it's even hotter. How much closer you are as this one is swung on and hit foul. Landed in the grass at first, but continued to skid off the pavement and away. And you don't really realize how close the third baseman is until you're actually standing there. You only have a quarter of a second to react. So to have such a successful career over at third base is truly something to admire. 1-2 the count. And then to have it here on turf. Although, I guess frankly elsewhere you're playing on all dirt too. That might almost be a little bit faster, as that one again has a little bit of power to it, but foul ball. So I guess maybe in the end turf might slow it down a little bit, even though it's known to be the faster surface. Because that dirt, it's packed down and it just continues to skid, and it takes these weird bounces. 1-2, swung on left center field. That's a beautiful hit and just out of the reach of Kondo. And here comes Wilson headed to third. Second base for Alyssa Gappa. She's got a single and a double today. No run has scored though. One out. Madeline Vejvoda, who did double with 2 RBIs in the first. She's the reason why this game is where it is. Another perfect RBI position situation for her. And almost a half swing, but either way she went through it. And that is strike one. RBI total of now 23 this season. Just tied for second on this team along with Rozanki. Rozanki, who is an RBI merchant too, so you don't want to have to get it to her either, although if you do get it to her, already you would assume a few runs have crossed the plate, there being a couple of batters away. even counts and flashes away. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-0 for Creighton here in the 3rd inning. They've got 5 hits. Georgetown have yet to see a base runner today through 2 innings. Another ice cream truck here this afternoon. It's Friday afternoon. There's a chopper at second, and the good look by Lyman just to get the easy out. That's the 2nd out of the inning, but an RBI for Vejvoda, which is now her 3rd of the day. Lead extends 3-0. And really, Kaylee Wilson would have expected her to go from contact and on the ground, and that's exactly what she did. So Wilson has her 2nd run of the game. So now it's Gappa who has moved her way over to 3rd with Saren Croker lined up in the right-handed batter's box. The DP, the breaker misses for a 1-0 count. This is just a good time of year, midway through conference play, where the table's beginning to sift itself out. And where really every game continues to matter. The top 4 look pretty close to secure right now, but honestly, if both of these 2 teams play their cards right, they could be in a good situation. Georgetown is actually the next closest of anybody, as they're in the 5 spot. And this one has a little bit of power to it. However, it is Lou tracking it, and they get out of the inning here in the 3rd. Well, minimal damage. 1 run crosses the plate for Creighton, but that's it after they had 2 runners on and in scoring position. 3rd inning continues on after this. Naya Campos for Georgetown here in the home half of the 3rd. Certainly wanting something. Batting 106 this season, has just the 5 hits. She seems like somebody who is significantly due. Her last hit, March 18th against Seton Hall. Season 0-1 count here to start. Next pitch delivers itself in and levels it up. She had a pretty good Villanova series, Campos. 2 for 3 the first game of that doubleheader, and then a 2 for 4 game after. Those are the only 5 hits she's got. This one popped up. 3rd base in Gappa. Easy as you like. First out here of the 3rd. Casey Lyman, freshman from Portland, Oregon. I mean, the big topic of discussion today has been freshmen. She hasn't missed much. 4-year starter in high school, 2019 and 2022 best defensive player. First team All-League in 2022 as well over at Jesuit High School. Lyman at 193. as a batting average, hasn't missed a start in any game, and you can't look away from the defense. It took her a few games to get going, but wow, did she get going, and once she started making some contact. Against Wagner, went 3 for 3, and then against Lehigh, back on the 19th of February, 2 for 7. That was that 13-inning game that finished in 7-6 favor of Lehigh. Scorched over at second base. Vejvoda records her third putout of the game. 2 away. I mean, remember that game. Georgetown went up in that 13th inning against Lehigh, and then Lehigh scored 2 to win. That was down in Norfolk, Virginia. Those were some crazy series there, and she was getting some really nice hits in that stretch. But then after that, we're talking about February 25th and on for her. Only 9 hits in the process. So from the end of February to now, just 9 hits, and one of those days was a very, very impressive 3 for 3 game against Providence. Of course, herself being the hero in that walk-off, too. Claire Turner, the only batter yet to see plate action for Georgetown today. Takes a swing on that one and makes it 1-2. So it's this Georgetown offense struggling to find a little bit of life here. Kondo is on deck. She's usually somebody who can bring the life too. Turner waits on it. Did not go. All of the infield was basically off. They thought she went. And so the count moves to 2-2. Let's just see if that benefits the Hoyas here, because obviously the at-bat stays longer, but time called, and Gabriela Elvina will say something here to the home plate umpire. Once again, you've got coaches who can see everything, and they want to make sure everything is all up to standard. And I'm just still incredibly impressed. I mean, just the knowledge that all these coaches at this level have, it's really impressive. I mean, not necessarily the sport, but I still remember watching a volleyball game where they had replay as an availability, and the head coach for this said team saw just a slight graze of a fingertip and determined if the ball was in or out, and saw it immediately. Nobody else saw it except for this coach, and threw that challenge card, and it went back their way as this one is hit into left field. There's a base hit. So Claire Turner, who was basically called out on strikes there, she got right back in, worked the count, and got the first hit of the game for the Hoyas. But anyways, I was saying, these coaches just know. They see it all. Even if it's just a slight nick, they've done it. They've seen it. You saw it with the Maryland men's lacrosse head coach the other day, right? Where he knew the rules on the face-off man's gloves, how they had to be a certain color. This one ripped it third. Good job by Gappa. She gets back to her feet in time. And Kondo's retired for the second time today. That closes off the third inning. I'm just telling you, folks, these coaches know what they're doing. All right, fourth inning. We bounce on up to, it's 3-0 for Creighton. Emma Rozanki, Ensley Frame, Sidra Seville for this fourth inning for the Creighton Blue Jays, who are leading 3-0, even though they did not have a conference win in their first few series. They have turned things around a little bit, and they're playing some really nice softball at the moment. Towered high, and Kondo goes right in front and snatches it just in front of Turner. A very quick out there and had it ranged. Now that's a center fielder's mindset right there, and Kondo knew she had to get there, and she did. Doesn't miss many of those. Remember, she was really the main center fielder last year for this Georgetown team, and then Claire Turner has come in and has played, just an even more spectacular type of role, too. It's that pace out there for this offense and this defense that is just really enthralling. 0-1's the count to Ensley Frame. It's another unique name, too, isn't it? We talked about Saren Croker, but how about the name Ensley Frame? Not bad at all. Maddox Boston, there's another name there, too. Freshman from Longmont, Colorado. Swung on and fouled back. So the count is level at 1 apiece here. Ensley Frame walked in the second inning. The lone walk for Creighton batting today. And just like that, swings and misses for strike 3. And that is the second out of this inning. Sidra Seville is the last batter, potentially in this fourth inning, but wanting something. Just like in the second inning, it was supposed to go 7-8-9. Frame was the lone base runner in that inning before everything was closed off by Nielsen. But it's once again in the range of 7-8-9. And Seville, who grounded out back to Julia Parker in the second inning, sees one rise and elevate out of her hand there. 3-0 the score. Creighton leading Georgetown in the top of the fourth. Here in Washington, D.C., an overcast day, but just a very comfortable day to be out here. 1-1, it is foul. Lorena Vasquez Inzunza just kind of lunged for it and was just hoping that it stayed out of the realm there. Didn't curve back in. Seville, the sophomore from New Lenox, Illinois, one hit in all of last year, as this one slapped foul again. This year it has been a little bit better for her. 234 average, 18 hits. And just kind of a good batter to have there in that 9 role for this Creighton side. As she takes another hack at this one, right back at Parker for the second straight time. And hit another 1-3 put out for the junior pitcher. That does it for that top of the fourth. Home half next. 3-0 still for Creighton. Hoyas need some offense here. Just the one hit. We've marched our way to the bottom of the fourth inning, 3-0 for the Creighton Blue Jays, making their way over from Omaha, Nebraska. So too the baseball team, who will be starting up very shortly as well here at the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. Lots of different shades of blue out there today. I have like more of a royal blue for Creighton and this navy blue for Georgetown. Not to mention the different types of blue that are involved in this entire venue. Zamora, who struck out in the first inning, is down to another one here. Well, last year, remember, only one game resulted in a final score between Georgetown and Creighton. Game 1 for them last year was canceled. That was on the 12th of March. And then the day after, Georgetown, they won 6-4 in 8 innings. Lorena Vasquez-Nzunza was the player who advanced on an error. Brittany Luce scored. Kiki Besnard had a single, drove in Vasquez-Nzunza. And that's what determined the go-ahead runs in that game. May Forshee was batting as the number 1 hitter. Went 3 for 5. But then in game 2, remember, on March 13th, it got to a 7-2 game. This one will angle itself away, too. Bottom 5th inning, Georgetown were up 7-2. But the game was called off for a no contest. Remember, they had to have that drop-dead time of 3 o'clock p.m. because Georgetown had to make their final travel arrangements. There's time called. Obviously, because of how far of a trip it is. I mean, folks, we're talking close to a 3-hour plane ride to get over there to Omaha, Nebraska. So that is, it's not easy to do, that's for sure. It's not like you can just take this bus and travel to Villanova, PA. No, you got to make all these arrangements, and that's why they had to do what they did. Foul ball, first base line. And it stays full for Zamora here. I have to think that's probably why the final game on Sunday is at 11 a.m. Obviously, the game today, the game tomorrow, 3 o'clock p.m., but Sunday as an 11 a.m. game, which, by the way, I love. Just get up, have your morning coffee, and head on in and call a game. That's good. Although I don't drink coffee, but, you know, for others this early, as there's ball 4. Get your morning breakfast in, there you go, and just call a game. Nothing better than that. But just have to think that that's probably what the situation is Creighton need to head on back to Nebraska. A unique little turn, of course, of the Big East, and their kind of slow realignment here over the last handful of years. And there's a strike to May Forshee. Of course, with Butler entering in and Creighton and then UConn coming on back. Lots of nice movement. Marquette, obviously, staying in. The Big East is the big Midwest and beyond. This one ripped into center, and well done by Seville. Looked pretty easy for her in the end. First out of the 4th inning. And it makes it so much more fun, isn't it? Of course, Creighton being a part of that Missouri Valley Conference. They're partnered up with Wichita State. They have both since departed. We got a time called here as Lily West is chatting with Natalia Puccino. And still has only given up the 1 hit, which was a single to Claire Turner. Well struck ball, too. You can hear the lineups being announced, by the way, over at the baseball part of this complex. That game starting up pretty soon. That game, I believe, was intended to be scheduled later in the day, but they moved it up just a few hours here on this Friday afternoon turning into evening. The 1-0 carries away from Puccino, and All of a sudden, she's trailing in this count, 2-0, to Kayla Dunn, who struck out looking in the second inning. Glad you're with us here today. I'm Christian Taylor on Hoya Vision. Light's beginning to shine here, too. Dunn very patient on it, but sees a strike. Fortunately for the Hoyas, even though they are trailing here, it's still within arm's reach. Couple little quick hits all of a sudden push this game into a different direction. Dunn, not quite. Just a tad behind it there, and the count right back to a level 2-2. It's a good climb back by Natalia Puccino, and who just has a knack for the strike zone. Winds up with that one as this count pushes full. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning with the Hoyas batting. They need some runs here. Payoff pitch coming. Just enough of it to stay alive here, Kayla Dunn. So we get a nice wind blowing out here to center. Something that, Kayla Dunn would love to take advantage of. One swing of the bat could make things just a lot more interesting. Dunn does have 1 homer this year. She has the capability of doing so, and swings through that one for the second out of the 4th. By the way, that home run for Kayla Dunn that we were talking about, it was February 25th against the Mountaineers of App State. Lorena Vasquez Inzunza, strikeout victim, her last time up too. This one stayed low at the knees, but just angled out of the strike zone. Four Ks for Puccino today so far. Here comes one, it's popped up, shallow center field, running out for it is Vejvoda. And that is just some great range there, isn't it? And that is her 4th put out of the game. To the 5th inning, we make our way. Score 3-0 for Creighton. Back to the top of the order for Creighton. Kayla Nielsen, Lily West, Kaylee Wilson. The very, very dangerous top of this Creighton lineup. And a foul ball immediately here. Oh for 2 is Nielsen, a fly out to left and a grounder to short. And an 0-2 count. Julia Parker today, though, looking fairly strong. That first inning, she allowed the 2 runs, but kind of settled down since. The 3rd inning, she did allow 1 with a couple of base runners. Count stays alive here. Kayla Nielsen Jr. from player Nebraska has played a lot of center field in her career, but today is in left. just has this option to play all over if needed to. Hasn't missed a single beat really since she made her way to Omaha. 134 games played, that includes today. 129 starts in her career also counts today. 318 batting average career this year is the best on the team with a 387 average. They might as well put her at the top of the lineup. Towering fly ball left side. Cam Kondo says thank you very much. Second fly out to her. From Nielsen. Lily West singled in the third, was thrown out on a fielder's choice, hit by Kaylee Wilson in the third inning. It was Wilson who was the one who came around to score. Team leader in hits. Ball one. Coach Wood, knew immediately that Lily West was going to make an impact. So versatile, such a solid hitter, hits for power. And really just didn't have any doubt about it. And there's still that opening article that announced Lily West committing and signing with Creighton, and you could just tell just by the words written on that screen that Coach Wood was just over the moon excited about Lily West coming to town. And she's in this two spot. It was something we talked about in that Coppin State game on just how difficult a two spot can be in a lineup. But Lily West says, yeah, you know what? I'm going to thrive here. And that's exactly what she's gone in and done. Lily West at a 341 average. We mentioned, of course, the 43 hits. Just the one homer, but knows how to crank it, that's for sure. She takes one into right field. Brittany Liu secures the second out. Kaylee Wilson, 2 runs today. And most recently there in the third. Singled, scored a run in the first inning. It's been just a very simple day so far from her, and still a very prominent game. Cuts in for the first ball of this count. Grad student from Aurora, Colorado. One thing I love about this sport, too, is just how everybody's from everywhere. Now, it is, very cool, with lacrosse. You get a lot of different states amongst the East Coast, but it's mostly like East Coast, right? But when you have a sport like softball, like even baseball playing right next door, a team that is out of Washington, D.C., like Georgetown, you can get somebody coming from Washington. You could get somebody coming from Missouri. And the same can go from Creighton. You can get a player from Wisconsin, Texas maybe, Colorado, Hawaii, right? All over. And just shows you the want and the urgency and the love of the game that these players have. They'll go anywhere to continue playing it. Slow roller at third for LVI, and she's able to do it. Just beats Wilson by a step. 5-3 put out to close off the top of the fifth. And so the home half is next. Georgetown just, 3 innings away here. They got to find something after this.
Georgetown Hoyas.
6-7-8 for Georgetown batting. Brittany Liu flew out to left field in the second inning, so is 0 for 1 today. Can she get the hitting rolling here? So far, just a one-hitter thrown by Natalia Puccino. She's doing just all this incredible stuff as a freshman. And would certainly love to continue and deal this season and certainly the rest of her career. As we have another ball here in this count to the right fielder. Brittany Liu has just continued to emerge this year and is certainly a team favorite. Think of all the players. She's got probably the most cheers or chants coming from that Georgetown dugout because there are so many different words you can use out of Liu. 100%. (3-0). Turns away from it. Ball 4, leadoff walk for Brittany Liu. So that's 2 walks for Georgetown hitting. They at least have a base runner here in all 3 of these recent innings. First 2 innings were quick 1-2-3, but they're at least getting players on. It's just about moving them around. Anaya Campos needing something. The freshman from Tucson, Arizona. Still learning curve, too. Of course, she's making a long way over to Washington, D.C. to play her college ball. And Coach Conlon has just had the utmost confidence in what Campos can bring. There's a ball. 1-1 strike. Started all 4 years at Canyon del Oro High School. Was named team MVP just this last season. As time is called, Lily West is going to chat with Puccino, knowing they have to get Campos here. 2022 Defensive Regional Player of the Year. And then named to the All-Region First Team 3 years, 2019, 2021, and 2022. And just after that time called, immediately whizzes one past her to even up the count at 2-2. We can continue on here with Campos. I mean, the list goes on. At 2022 4A state runner-up. Was named to the principal honor roll for all 4 years of high school, too. Top 10% of her class. So not only does she know how to play, she is smart, too. And just the perfect addition to this university. Payoff pitch. There's some contact, but angled foul, and will march its way towards baseball. So the one runner on is Brittany Liu. She walked. And Campos is making Puccino think about a few of these. Delivery is through. Ball 4. 2 runners on. Casey Lyman.
Second base, number 3, Casey Lyman.
Casey Lyman, just 8 RBIs this season. Had 3 RBIs just in the Providence series alone. But this is a chance here for Puccino. With a little bit of pressure on, can she pitch her way out of this? Strike 1, with that one being fouled back behind that backstop. lights turning on here and being ever so more prominent. Being an overcast day here. Thinking of going here as the bunt is laid down. They do get the out at first, Creighton, but successful sacrifice bunt. Moves runners over to second and third. Hey, if you can get anything you need to, that's a perfect way to do it. And sets up Claire Turner, who is the lone Georgetown batter today, with a hit. Time was called here by Coach Conlon. Just wondering if we got a pinch runner due up, and sure enough, it's going to be Campos replaced. Now, usually the first runner is Sophia Scarangella, and it is not. It is Gabby Nemerick, who will step on in. Junior from Connecticut. So remember, of course, with pinch running, pinch hitting situations, the player can return. So Campos will most likely be back to first. But for Gabby Nemerick, appearing in her 27th game this season. And there's a ball to start off this count to Claire Turner. Nemerick has scored 4 runs this season. 2 for 4 stolen bases to this one. High fly ball left side. Nielsen ranging to it. She does make the grab, but a tag and score for Brittany Liu. And Georgetown have their first run of the game. A couple of sacrifices there. And staying at second is Nemerick with Cameron Kondo at the plate. If ever there was a time for Cam Kondo, this is it. 3-1 now the score. She represents the tying run. Up it goes for ball 1. Though productive outs for Georgetown. Same could also be said about Creighton too, where they're allowing a run, but they got a few outs in the process. Kondo awaits this next one, and it's kept low. You would assume that's how Puccino is going to address the grad student here, is just keep everything as low and as far away as possible. Knowing her cranking power, 11 home runs this year. The lone run against Coppin State. She thought about bunt there for a moment and pulled back. Was hoping that maybe it would take Puccino off of her laser focus towards home plate. And the count is at 2-1. Glad you're with us here today on Hoya Vision. I'm Christian Taylor. This Friday afternoon, start of a 3-game series between Georgetown and Creighton, both on the softball and baseball sides. A chopper remains foul. And so Cam Kondo will have to rethink her plate approach here, but just gets one quick word from assistant coach Gabriela Elvina over at third. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Kondo's 0 for 2 today. Can she change that? Here it goes. Swing and a drive. Right field. It's gone. Cam Kondo does it again. Her 12th homer of the year. And she levels up this game. Every time this team needs something, she delivers. Wow. Game is tied. That is just the second hit of this game for Georgetown. He kind of had a sense right off the bat. I mean, it just barely edged over the fence, but the pace that she had right off that swing, you knew it at least had a chance. And so it's now Morgan Zamora at the plate, who is 0 for 1 today, walked her last time up in the 4th. She also has a decent crack at this one, however, a little more trackable by Rozanki, and that closes off the 5th inning too. Well, 3 runs cross the plate for the Hoyas. We got ourselves a tie game here, folks, headed to the 6th. Sixth inning. Game is all of a sudden a little bit different. A 2-run shot from Cam Kondo tied this game up at 3 apiece. And so Alyssa Gappa to start off this 6th inning for Creighton, who is 2 for 2 today. Single and a double. Next delivery from Parker is just a tad outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Alyssa Gappa has been one of the main offensive looks today, and really this season has begun to start hitting better in the last 10 days or so. Didn't have any hits for a little bit as this one is shot into center, but Claire Turner has the answers. But, Alyssa Gappa didn't have any hits from March 22nd till the end of the month. And now, coming into the game, had 6 hits in her last 5. So if you do the math, 8 hits in her last 6 games today. But flew out there, even though it was hit very hard. Madeline Vejvoda. A skyer to left. Kondo there to claim. 2 outs. Parker settling here. No hits allowed since that double by Alyssa Gappa in the 3rd inning. Saren Croker, the DP, 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. Wind up in the pitch from Parker, and that's a strike. This is the type of inning stretch that she needs. And give credit to Parker, too, because, her team was down, but she still kept pitching just to keep Creighton off that scoreboard, and it allowed the opportunity just in that bottom of the 5th to at least tally a few. And that's exactly what they've done here. 3 runs on 2 hits for the Hoyas. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Blue Jays. Here it comes again. Carries away. 2 balls and 1 strike here to Croker. The senior from Cottage Grove, Minnesota, played at Park High School. Wind up in the pitch. Chopped foul. Get some of these foul balls aren't by much. It's not the biggest of foul territory, but then again, neither is really most foul territory in this sport of softball. Try to keep things as condensed as possible. And it does the job. Don't need too much space to play this game. 200 feet the whole way around. Small infield foul territories. Full count comes. Had a little bit of carry on it to start, but that sidewalk has another friend over there. 3-3 our score. Friday afternoon in Washington, D.C. Wind blowing just a little bit harder here. Feels nice, though. Payoff pitch. Another one that just angles itself away. And looks like it's going to have to be Abby Schiller who goes on over and now picks up that ball. Although it looks like she'll get some help from one of the baseball players that's warming up on that All-Star Pavilion field there. Ball 4. Been a while since Julia Parker has given up a walk. Actually, it was Ensley Frame as the only other walk in this game for her. Emma Rozonki, junior from Omaha, Nebraska by way of Burke High School. We're there at Burke. Nebraska all-class state record with 36 game hit streak. Oh, this one shot into center, and the final out by Claire Turner. Didn't take that one long. 6th inning concluded for Creighton, but 6th inning very much alive for the Hoyas as they will see a 3-4-5 try and break this tie. Bottom of the 6th inning. Once again, I appreciate Mr. Tom Manning handing me the home run ball from Cameron Kondo again. Gave it to me on Tuesday after her solo shot, and now I've got it again today. Of course, this will be going back to the team, but oh wow, off the light post on that foul ball and right back into play. Cam Kondo has turned herself into one of the best home run hitters in this entire nation. 12 home runs this year. And she's the reason why this game is tied at 3. But May 4, she up with the 0-1 count as she is 0 for 2 today. 278 average and slipping just a tad. No hits in her last couple of games, even though she did have a pretty strong Providence series. And it started when they traveled out west. Arizona game, for the first one, she went 1 for 3. San Diego was a 2 for 4 game, and there's one that drops in. Leads off the 6th inning. She wanted that one badly, you could tell. But then that Arizona game had a hit, 2 for 4 against Providence game 1, 1 for 4 game 2. And no hits in 2 games, and now has one in the 3rd. And with that hit, time called, and we can sense that perhaps a new pitcher coming in for the Creighton Blue Jays, or maybe not. Just a little bit of a huddle here.
Number 17, Sophia Scarangella.
And part of this pause, of course, being for the new batter, Sophia Scarangella. So she gets her first crack today. You know, we were seeing that maybe, just maybe, she was going to be the pinch runner there for Naya Campos, but it was Nemrick who came in for it. And instead, in the 6th inning, the pinch hit for Scarangella. And so we get a long, long listen to Decepticon by Le Tigre over the loudspeaker. Bunt laid down, stays foul. So, I mean, their sacrifice bunts worked nicely there in that fifth inning, didn't it? I mean, the sacrifice bunt from Casey Lyman and the sac fly from Turner really important to the end total of getting Cam Kondo up for the homer. The 0-1, there's the bunt this time, and very easy to read was a third baseman in Gappa, and she got the lead runner at second in Forshee. And Forshee got a decent jump, but the sac bunt not successful, so a 5-4 fielder's choice, and it sees Scarangella over at first. She knows she missed a chance, but doesn't mean they're without a base runner here. LVI now at the plate, 0 for 2. Strikeout in the second, pop up in the fourth. And here in this bottom of the sixth inning, a foul ball to start off this count. Especially at this point of the game, 1 run has to be the difference. And Creighton unable to convert in their first half of the sixth, so this bottom half, it's got to be the Georgetown Hoyas who want to find something to maybe close off this game, which is why they're taking these pinch hitters and sacrifice bunts so seriously. They just need the chance, don't they? Ace is wild here. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Sixth inning. Lorena Vasquez in Zunza with the foul ball. And the count pushes to 1-2. Senior from Chandler, Arizona. Lots of Arizona representatives today. The 1-2, and there's a big whiff from Vasquez in Zunza, her second strikeout of the day. 2 outs. That was a very important pitch by Puccino. And Brittany Liu scored a run in the fifth after walking. She scored on that sac fly. She also flew out to left in the second, so it's her third time here. Very quick strike call by the home plate umpire. Brittany Liu with a .250 average entering this game, coming off of 3 straight hits, or 3 straight games with a hit, if you will. She turns away from that. 1 for 3 game against Providence in game 2, 2 for 4 the next day in that crazy 12-8 loss, and then went 1 for 2 against Coppin State. Really one of the only hits given up by Isabel Tobias of the Eagles. That's a decent check over there, but safely back is Scarangella. So those Hoyas coming off of that perfect game from Brooke Plonka. Third in her career, third solo. She's been a part of a combined no-no before. 15 strikeouts. She had 8 straight there from the second batter on. And you kind of knew once those started going down, it might have been a special day. And it certainly was. But Julia Parker's trying to make it a special day too. Allowed those 3 runs to start, but she's kept Creighton off the board ever since the third inning, and it's given an open window for the Hoyas here. 2-2 count, and it skips in behind Lily West. Two balls, 2 strikes. Puccino sets home. The count moves to full. Yeah, this is an important pitch. As big as this game has seen so far. Puccino looks to her wrist. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. got Lou down on strikes. 6 innings in the books to the potential final frame here from Washington, D.C., level at 3. Well, it's Coach Wood who is now digging into her bag of tricks and comes up with her first pinch hitter of the game. Erica Perez, the freshman from Madera, California. And the first pitch she sees takes a little trip to the top of the clubhouse here at the Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. It's 4 hits in her last 5, Perez. Has been on a nice little run. Total 9 hits total this season, though. .265 average. And she has gotten, a good handful of starts this season, but today decided to come in off the bench, and she pops that one again also onto the roof here. There's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Erica Perez. Julia Parker with a little bit of a longer wait this time. Takes one from her right hand and slips inside to make it 2-2. In high school, Erica Perez over at Madera High School. Second in career history with a .439 batting average. Just in 2021 alone, had a .500 average as it's ball 3, but May 4 she liked where that one was placed. That .500 average was the second highest single season total in Madera High School's history. It's named Madera Tribune's Offensive Player of the Year, and also had a .750 slugging percentage. Crazy numbers. That one was angled back at the Creighton fans, who find themselves in a nice little perch up top there, just looking down on everything. It's a good angle. It really is. Full count, called, strike 3. It was a tight one, but Perez took the chance, and Parker got the K. Sidra Seville, the center fielder, was 0 for 2. Both of her plate appearances have seen a ball right back at Julia Parker. By the way, folks, that is just the second strikeout of the game for Julia Parker. Not quite the strikeout merchant of Brooke Plaka, but still knows how to deal with them. But today, just the 2. But that one maybe is more important as any of the other ones. Seville sees this next one in, thought about it, laid off. That slap hitter, the very dangerous slap hitter that softball really just comes in and makes its own, doesn't it? Every team, successful team, usually has a pretty good one. Chopper very quickly at shortstop. Did she outrun it? Oh, yes, she did. Sidra Seville just needed to put it in play, and Zamora wasn't fast enough. And that is the first hit of this game for Creighton since the third inning, and Alyssa Gappa's double. And I think what makes that so important now is it gives a couple batters at the top of this order another look. Kayla Nielsen, the first one to go. She's hit the ball pretty hard today. Couple flyouts to Cam Kondo in left. So has a ground out to Zamora in the second inning. But it just sets up the chance here. Well, you saw that pace from Seville. Hasn't stolen too many bases this year, just 1 of 2. Kayla Nielsen gives that category as 3. She goes 3 for 4. This one into left field, and Kondo, who ran to her left. No, other way, to her right. No, I was right, to her left. Sorry, I'm looking at it from the other direction, folks. That's 2 outs. And now it's Lily West. So that's 3 flyouts, 2 left field for Kayla Nielsen. Again, all 3 of them pretty well hit. Lily West has 1 hit today, a single in the third. Just very calm out here right now. Glad you're with us here on Hoya Vision. Your home for Georgetown softball and baseball. And this weekend it's Creighton. Oh, that breaker. Oh, it's a good hold off by Lily West. You see something like that and you want to crank it as far as possible. The speed of Seville over at first, something you'd think, at least in play or in the outfield, could at least set up an opportunity to get her to third. 3-3 our score. Top of the 7th inning, Julia Parker with 2 outs here, hoping to at least set up a chance for her team in the home half to try and win it. 3-1 counts. For she's trying to frame down there, isn't she? And so Coach Conlon thinking of what pitch to send on out. Let's see what she gave. Execution from Parker. Foul ball. And makes things even more dramatic here. Seville should be going on this pitch, with it being a full count and 2 outs in this 7th inning with Lily West at the plate. Tense dugouts here. Here it comes, ripped right side and foul again. Just builds up the drama even more. That's all they're trying to do, just make things even more enticing. It's just because of that pace of Seville over there at first. So it makes this just even more enthralling. Ripped at second. There's a diving grab by Lyman, and she gets the out at first. Saves the inning and keeps things level at 3. Okay, to the home half. Hoyas just need 1 to win. We'll see what happens after this. Seventh inning. Naya Campos, Casey Lyman, Claire Turner. 7-8-9 for the Hoyas. If they can just get one batter on, it gives a chance to Cam Kondo. I'd assume is the one batter Creighton don't want to see here. The first pitch is skied and fouled. Campos walked in the fifth inning, was pinch run for by Nemrick, who eventually came around to score. Delivery to Campos and thuds off that screen, off that cage for strike two. Campos also popped out to third base in the third inning. We're mentioning just how she just needs a hit. Better time than ever. They're in the bottom of the seventh inning against the Creighton team. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Natalia Puccino has pitched awfully well today. It's a reason why she is really kind of listed basically as the team's ace. 3.14 ERA. The 10-10 win-loss record. Winds up for that one. It's in the air. Calling everybody off is Nielsen. And she's happy to take that one out 1.
Third base. Correction, second base, number 3.
Casey Lyman lined out to second in the third. And a sacrifice bunt in the fifth. Well, you see it in baseball, you see it in softball. When a player makes a spectacular play in the half inning before, if you're up in that next inning, a lot of times you see a hit come from it. And Casey Lyman made that diving stop over at second base to kill the top of the seventh inning for the Creighton offense. Lyman swings and hits one deep right field, but the track by Rozanki makes it 2 outs. Thought for just maybe a moment, but it was Rozanki who didn't panic. This is Claire Turner. Last chance here with a couple outs in the seventh. Just to keep this one alive, to try and get it to Cam Kondo. Turner does have a hit today, also has a sacrifice fly. And you'd have to think that extra pause from Puccino because of the ambulance that drove on by here. 0-1 as that first pitch is delivered in. Just seems like Claire Turner's getting better and better every day. The freshman from Palo Alto, California, by way of St. Francis High School. Foul ball, another one that thuds off the light post here. That's 2. But I think the more important thing is that's the second strike of this count to Claire Turner. Puccino looking ahead to the 8th. Delivered home. Oh, not by much. So it stays alive. It's about as good of a pitch as Puccino could have delivered there. And might try to place it in the same spot. Here it comes. Indeed, she did. This time there is contact. It is Frame who gets the out at first. 6-3 put out. We go to extras here. Score is 3-3. Goes Kaylee Wilson, Alyssa Gappa, and Madeline Vejvoda for now an 8th inning here at the Washington Nationals Youth Baseball Academy. They thought maybe it would be enough. Not quite. Parker's first delivery is ball 1. The very, very difficult Kaylee Wilson, who has 1 hit today, singled, scored a run, grounded into a fielder's choice, scored a run in the 3rd, and then a 5-3 ground out in the 5th inning. That's a quick 2-0. This might be a situation where Parker is sensing on just pitching around Wilson here, because she knows the damage that can be brought. There's a strike, 2-1. It's a great placement again. Kaylee Wilson, who led the team and the Big East with a .436 batting average last season, 3-1, was just impossible to get out. (3-1) count in this 8th inning and a foul ball. So back we are. It's full from Julia Parker. And she'll ask for a switch of the softball here. I've got one of them, so they can't use this one. Digs in. Slow roller at first. Campos comes around, and there was nobody back to cover. And so Kaylee Wilson with the leadoff single. A rare infield hit for her. Usually she's skying those out. Oh. Big gush of wind here. And I lost my glasses, folks. But we got a pinch hitter. Pinch runner, beg your pardon. Michaela Cherez is now the runner for Kaylee Wilson over at first. They just figure they want a tad more bit of speed out there. This one right back in front at Parker, so she makes the out. And so Gappa's sack bunt attempt didn't work. Madeline Vejvoda now batting with 1 out here in the 8th inning. That was an important get, and it keeps the runner over at first. If you're the Georgetown pitching. This one sent deep. Kondo looking over, and it lands perfectly into that Creighton bullpen. You can see, folks, how difficult of a team this Creighton side is. It just seems like this year the Big East is a little bit tougher. I feel like more teams can beat anybody this year. Last year it was pretty solidified who the top 4 teams were, and just kind of continued down from there. But this year there's a lot of viable chances for many of these teams, and just seeing this Creighton performance today, it really just does look like they could beat anybody. Although again, it was a rough start to them with their Villanova series and their Butler series and their Seton Hall series, but more traction has been made by them. And I think this game is a perfect example just how closely contested a lot of this is. Count is 1-2 to Vejvoda. Oh, that's a beautiful hit, and it lands in perfectly in front of Kondo. The second single of this inning, and Creighton are threatening It's the first inning that they've had multiple hits in since the third inning. Saren Croker, the DP, who was 0 for 2 with a walk. And this is about as big of a jam as Parker has been in since that third inning. And Brooke Plonka is taking some warm-up tosses right now. Just in case this gets out of hand, I am very curious to see if they're going to throw Puccino back out there too. I would assume you do. I mean, both of these pitchers have performed expertly today. You feel like it's theirs to lose. That's strike 2. Three to 3 our score. Just 3 hits total for Georgetown batting, 7 for Creighton, and 2 of them have happened in this inning. That slider misses. And we have reached extras here. That scoreboard only has a quantity of 8 slots. Be interesting to see how they continue it up there. They just kind of move everything over. Parker goes. Liner into center. Turner claims. Ooh, and skids one in, but does what she needs to do. It's 2 outs.
Right field, number 7.
Emma Rozaki. Oh, how she hits these RBIs. Was second on the team, or beg your pardon, led the team second in the Big East with 43 RBIs last season, Rozaki. Tied for 5th most in a single season and averaged just over 1 RBI per game, which was 21st nationally. I mean, we're not just talking Big East here. We're talking the entire United States. There's a nice strike. Julia Parker, who just needs the 1 out. Looking for some sort of exit from this top of the 8th inning. A couple of singles have gone by, but they're standing at first and second right now. It is Michaela Cherez who is over at second base. And it is Madeline Vejvoda at first. This one set through and Parker knocks it down. Can she recover in time? Oh, she can. Sometimes all you got to do is just get a glove on it. And it's a 1-3 put out for the pitcher in Julia Parker. She did it for, I think, the 3rd time today. Sure enough, it is. Okay, it keeps the score level at 3. Georgetown with another crack at it, bottom 8.
Georgetown Hoyas, left field, number 10.
8th inning. Kondo Zamora Forshi with this game level at 3. And I've been told that Georgetown baseball are down by quite a bit right now, 11-0 over on that other field. And they're just in the 3rd inning. But the Hoyas here on the softball end looking to at least get some sort of result today if baseball can't turn it around. And there's strike one. Of course, we have to allude back to that 2-run homer by Kondo in the 5th inning. She is the reason this game is tied. Has supplied most of the runs here, at least in their last performances. Kondo thought about bunt, but pulled it back and cut in across. That stays out for a ball. 1-1. You know, Puccino has still got that home run in the back of her mind. So does Kondo. One swing of the bat could win it. It's kept low again. 2 balls, 1 strike. That's just it. Kondo didn't even hit it out of the infield in her first times up today. A pop out to second and a ground out to third in the 3rd inning before that homer. It's in the air and foul. You see anything that's elevated off of her bat, you know, your heart skips a beat. We have played a total of 2 hours now here in Washington, D.C. Gosh, this has been a fun day. 2-2 the count, no outs in the 8th inning. Puccino back out there. Both her and Parker been having a lot of fun battling each other. Just missing the knees of Kondo to make it a full count. I mean, in the end, a walk to Kondo may not be the worst solution here, but you want to keep as many runners off the base paths as you can if you're Puccino. That's a big fly ball! Left field! Kondo walks it off! Her 2nd home run of the game. This one's the winner.
The final score, your Georgetown Hoyas.
Incredible.
The Creighton Blue Jays.
Back-to-back home runs for Kondo, who just cannot stop hitting homers. She's got 2 today. She has a winner, the equalizer and the winner. And it's a final score of 4-3 for the Georgetown Hoyas. Goodness me. And Natalia Puccino will be seeing Cam Kondo in her nightmares tonight, certainly, as will this entire Creighton staff. But holy moly, 13 homers now this year for Cam Kondo. And just continues to rake at this venue. I mean, that ball had no chance. That was all the way in the street. That could have cleared a 250 fence. No doubt about it. And that is your final score. We'll run through it here real quickly. Creighton had the 3-0 lead. Couple of singles from Wilson and Gappa in the 1st inning, and Vejvoda with a 2 RBI double made it 2-0. And then in the 3rd inning, it was an RBI from Vejvoda on a ground out to score Kaylee Wilson, and that made it 3-0, and it stayed that way. Georgetown only had a singular hit until the 5th inning, but a couple of back-to-back walks to start off the 5th. And a couple of sacrifices set up Cam Kondo, who hit the 2-run homer to tie it up at 3 just after the Claire Turner sacrifice fly. And it stayed this way. No runs in the 6th inning or 7th inning, but it just took Cam Kondo in the 8th to hit the solo homer to left center field to win it. 4-3 final score, and Georgetown pick up their 12th overall win of the season, their 6th conference win, which already is paces above last year's overall total. And Creighton, they drop to now 3-10 in conference play, 17-23 overall. But of course, with a series, you got a chance to step on back the day after. And now in back-to-back meetings, basically, with these two teams, it's late inning heroics from the Georgetown Hoyas against Creighton. But we'll see how the rest of this series pans out. That'll do it for us today here for Game 1 of this series. Of course, tomorrow is a 3 o'clock game. And Sunday, 11 a.m., bright and early. Gotta love it here in our nation's capital as the Creighton Blue Jays, both baseball and softball, spend the weekend in Washington, D.C. But right now it's 1-0 for the Hoyas with their softball win here. Our final score one more time, Georgetown 4, Creighton 3, a walk-off for Cam Kondo. Special thanks to all of you watching this one, and for our man, Mr. Tom Manning, running everything behind the scenes. I'm Christian Taylor saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.